I guess I'm doing okay. How's 2021 treating you right now?
Feels like 2020 was just yesterday or so, but feels the same. No big revelations, nothing, no big changes. Still living in the same world.
I would like to say congratulations because you are the first guest I have in 2021,
Yeah,
and also I think you're the first international guest in the sense that you are literally in another country as we're doing this.
that's true. That is true. Not at school anymore, so well for now.
My 2021 got off to a real shit start because so yesterday was New Year's Day and I stubbed my toe real bad.
What on what?
On one of my amplifiers that's just
Oh,
like sitting near my desk, and like I drew blood.
really?
Yeah,
What's
it was
that?
pretty bad.
Yeah, it's not too good.
It's on my pinky toe too.
Well, the worst one. You'd think that they don't serve much purpose, but apparently it's where like most of the balance from your foot comes from is your pinky toe.
I think it's more about it's not the individual toe; it's the fact that you have all the other toes. Plus, it's the
Yeah.
sum of the parts, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Like you probably wouldn't like. It seems inconvenient and useless the little toe, but it makes sense in the grand scheme of your foot.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, I wish I could relate to you on yesterday being an awful day. Well, no, I don't actually. I had a pretty good day yesterday.
It,
Um, I just got home and it was a nice day. Um, Woke up and then helped my parents for a little bit, and then I came downstairs to my room and I binge watched like 4 episodes of Cobra Kai because the new season came out.
yeah,
Um, and then helped with dinner a little bit, ate dinner, visited, and then came down and watched the rest of the 4 other episodes of
I've been
Cobra Kai.
meaning to get into watching Cobra Kai because I'm a fan of the original Karate Kid,
Yeah,
but I haven't gotten around to it. But now that it's like, it started on YouTube, now it's on Netflix, right?
yeah. I don't know if I never saw it on YouTube. I just saw the first 2 seasons in the fall on Netflix, and then they just put in the third one. But when you were saying that you like it because, well, you want to watch it because you like the original two Karate Kids, some people when they watch Cobra Kai and then they're like, why do they always go to these old scenes? Like, and they like because it's literally clips from the original movies. They didn't know that there was two Karate Kid movies.
Oh, they don't understand that Cobra Kai is based on the Karate Kid.
Yes. No, they don't understand. They didn't know that Karate Kid was an actual thing before Cobra Kai. They
Yeah,
never heard of the movies,
yeah.
which just doesn't make sense to me.
Like who hasn't seen the Karate Kid, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And like, did you see all the Karate Kid movies?
I saw the one where he was in China
Japan, you
or
mean?
Japan, sorry, and then because he went to see what's his face?
Miyagi's.
Yeah, Miyagi, Mr. Miyagi, and then obviously the other one where like he moved into like the town and like Johnny was there and living with his aunt or whatever. But I haven't seen him in years. I should watch him again now that I'm finished Cobra Kai.
If I remember correctly, there are three of them with Ralph Macchio and uh, Pat Morita, the guy who played Miyagi,
Mhm.
and then there's a fourth one called The Next Karate Kid from like I want to say like the early '90s, starring Hilary Swank.
Hmm. If you're about to say the fourth one is with Will Smith and Jaden Smith, that no doesn't count.
No, that's the remake. No, but
Uh,
there is a fourth one in the chronology that
mhm.
happened in the '90s with Hilary Swank as the protagonist, and Ralph Macchio is not in it.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah,
Which it's not great, but
but it's a Karate Kid movie.
it's a Karate Kid movie, though. Yeah,
Yeah.
but did you enjoy the one with Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan?
I saw that when I was like when it came out, so I don't know when it
2010.
probably came out in 2010, so I was 12 years old. So like I remember like leaving the theater and Justin Bieber that and the Jaden Smith song was playing
Yeah.
and I was just ready to get into a fight with another 12-year-old. Like karate style. I'm like, that's it. Like, I'm dropping everything. I'm not gonna play lacrosse and hockey anymore. I'm taking karate lessons.
I you
Never
know
did.
there
I
was
got kicked. I took Taekwondo for like 3 weeks. Me and one of my best friends, and we got kicked out of Taekwondo class.
for what?
Just not like we just wanted to get the cool suits and kick stuff. But like, yeah, it was like Tuesday nights at the RA center, like just like the community center, and like the guy teaching it was just some like 45-year-old white dude, and like it
Sounds
just
about right.
yeah, yeah. But
I
good experience.
I remember liking the Karate Kid remake with Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan, but the one like it was fine. It was like an enjoyable movie, but the one thing I had a real problem with is that they kept the title as the Karate Kid, even though they're in China learning kung fu. So they could have just called it the Kung Fu Kid,
Yeah, and then
right?
it wouldn't be like yeah, that makes sense.
And
Would
now
have been
and
smart.
then it sounds like, and then of course after it was released, it was like they're racially insensitive. They called it karate, but it's not karate.
Yeah,
But I mean, I understand part of like they want the name recognition in that it's the remake of the Karate Kid, right? But I don't know.
I think people will get the point though. What does your glass say? That's a
What
cool.
was
It's like
that?
a beaker. Your glass.
Oh yeah, my mug is a beaker.
Nice.
It's designed to look like a beaker,
That's cool.
and I'm drinking straight water.
Nice. Very nice.
Gotta hydrate, Chuck.
Yes. Yeah. Especially in these dry winter months.
And also, oh no, now that I'm doing these podcasts at home, um, I can't find a position for me to actually be comfortable, and so I find myself like my throat gets kind of tight up here,
Mhm.
right? And then I start talking up here, and I don't get a lot of projection or clarity in my voice if I'm up here. So like right now, I'm not that comfortable, and probably because my chair sucks, but also I don't know, like the usual place I would record is like the English department conference room back in
Mhm.
the before times, and those chairs were fine, and I would like sit up real straight and actually be. I don't want like I would my posture would be rather excellent compared to this.
I'm like in like a somewhat reclined rocking chair right now, and like the camera's down here, so I'm like looking down and leaning forward.
Yeah,
My posture's just out the window right now, but it's all good.
I mean, at least in your case, you have your earbuds in and your mic, so your microphone is basically attached to your head.
Yeah.
But like, I have a microphone here that exists independently from my head, so I'm like moving about. I find myself moving about naturally, but then it's like I still can't find the most comfortable position to be in, and for my mouth to actually be near the microphone. You know?
Yeah. Because you always have to just basically
Yeah.
move to where the microphone is. So how else? How'd the rest of your exams go and stuff? The finals.
Um, things went okay. The only real problem I had was the final paper for Dr. Cinch's class,
Yeah.
which like it's not hard. It's not that hard. It's just a paper. I've written papers, and but it was just the like I had been so over the semester that I couldn't like bring myself to actually do it.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Like since like it's kind of the same thing as last year, whereas like oh no, so the Canada game's on and they're playing Czech and Czechoslovakia or no Czech Republic now because that but
Yeah,
someone just got hit. Anyway, sorry, besides the point. But like not having done schoolwork at home, like in my house since like 2016, and then having to come home in the spring and have to like do like a couple months worth of school, just didn't work out well. Then same thing when I got home again. Like even though when I'm at school, like in my apartment, like I have like a desk. Like I have a desk at home too, but I have like a desk at school that's like this is for school. This is schoolwork
Yeah.
desk. So it's just like having a place that like encourages learning and
Yeah,
like
it is your school desk in the sense that it's your desk at school, and it's the desk for doing school.
yes, yes, not the desk that is just multi-purpose for arts and
Yeah,
crafts and taxes at home. So, but yeah, no, same thing with me. Like I had two cinch papers back to back. One was due on like this whenever the last or it was on the 10th and the 12th.
yeah.
And I had gone back to work on the 4th, I think.
Hmm.
So like I was working basically all day every day until that, and like coming home at night and plugging in like 2 hours into the paper and like falling asleep in my chair. But got them done, got good grades on them, so we're happy.
You took another class with Dr. Cinch that wasn't Survey 1?
Yeah, no, I had African American autobiographies with him as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, both like his classes are always good, so at least they're interesting.
Yeah.
And he's a good professor. So if you're listening to this, Dr. Cinch, shout out you.
Which, by the way, tomorrow, I did a podcast with Dr. Cinch that's going to come out tomorrow. If you want to listen to that.
Yeah, I'll have to listen to that. I think I got some driving to do tomorrow. So
yeah, I actually for that last paper in Survey 1, you know how Dr. Cinch gives everyone a 1-week extension, no questions asked. So I emailed near I'd say like the week before finals, and yes, the paper would have been due December 10th, which is the week of finals. I emailed him about possibly using it, but because it's during the week of finals, that might, like, I was thinking that might conflict with his, like, the time he would need us to make grades.
The grade, yeah.
Yeah. So I asked him about it, and he said, I need the grades in by the 15th, the following Tuesday. I'm like, okay, so not quite a week.
But 5 days is whatever.
But of course, I couldn't, like, I was so not into doing anything. So I didn't submit it until like 2:30 in the morning on that Tuesday.
Hey, it's in though. You got it done.
Yeah, I mean, Dr. Cinch called it solid, even though I probably wouldn't call it that. But you know.
Yeah, well, in times like this, sometimes good enough is good enough.
Good enough is
good enough is good enough. That's what the word means. Good enough.
Yeah, I did you have anything that was like kind of gnawing at you during the semester or at the very end, like maybe your practicum or something like that?
No, like I had a good time at field work. The only stuff, it was just like the finals, like you know how it is, like as like an English major and like all the writing and stuff, it's a lot of reading and even more writing. So it's just like, you know, you'd finish like a 10-12 page paper, and then the next thing you know is in like 3 days you have another 10-12 page paper.
Yeah.
So it's just it almost seems like never ending. So I just remember like telling myself like, okay, in like 8 days I'm done. Like I'm home free, 8 days, whatever. And then just like having to work. Yeah, sorry, Canada just scored 1-0. And then but no, just like having to go to work.
You're watching a game while you're
it's
talking
on
to
mute.
me.
It's on mute. Sorry.
For those listening, Chuck just turned his laptop to show me the TV that has the game on.
Yeah. Sorry. I don't want to be disrespectful, but I just can't, you know, I gotta see the game, sorry. But
no, it's all right. You're multitasking, Chuck.
Yes. Just being at work and stuff, and like having to come home, and then like, you know, like I'm waking up at like 5 a.m. I'm like on the job site by like 6:30, and then I'm working until like 5 or 6 p.m. You know, and the thing too in the winter time is like you wake up, I leave my house, it's pitch black, and I get back and it's pitch black. So that literally just like psychologically takes a lot out of you. So at least I work outside, but just not having as much time as I would like to kind of take my time with it, that definitely impacted my work a little bit, I would say. But still finished off strong, good grades. So what's a little adversity, eh?
And yeah, I know, right? I do. What do you think it's going to look like next semester when you start student teaching?
Oh,
Is there?
uh,
I I know I recognize that practicum and student teaching are separate courses, but like based on what I've heard about your experience in practicum, it sounds like you're basically student teaching. So do you think there's going to be like a discernible difference to you? What's
oh,
going?
sorry, I didn't understand the question. I thought you meant like with the whole COVID thing.
Oh,
But
right.
no, I think so. In practicum, the three big days we had were like when we had to teach like a whole lesson, like to a whole class.
Okay.
Um, so instead of that being like once a week or so, it's going to be like every day,
Mm-hmm.
basically. I believe. I think that you kind of just figure that out with like your designated teacher, but I think it's just kind of going to be like what like Bobby and I have been looking forward to for 4 years, because we don't have other classes really. I have one other class with Bobby and Julie, just once a week at night, basically just talking about student teaching.
Yeah.
And then like Bobby has one other class besides that. So it's not like we have other classes we really have to focus on. It's just about making our unit plans and lesson plans and teaching and adjusting. So I'm looking forward
Okay.
to it. I think it'll be really like exciting and fun.
Do you think it's going to be weird considering like it's still going to be um like you'll probably not have a whole class in person to teach?
Oh, like yeah, it'll probably still be half a class.
Yeah.
So on one hand, I think it's a better almost in a way, just because obviously it's easier to control 15 students than 30. But then on the other hand, like you're not getting that same experience with the entire class. But you never know. Like 2 months, you don't know what's going to happen. So could have full classes back. Well, I think during practicum, right after we left, they had full classes back for 2 weeks, and then they went back to the other thing. So hybrid.
Yeah, and do you think so you're not going to be taking anything other than student teaching and teacher as an instructional leader in education, right?
I don't even know if that's what the class is, Julie. Just
I'm pretty sure that's what the one with
yeah,
Julie is called. Yeah.
yeah. It's gonna be good. It'll be nice. Kind of just focus on teaching, get some
And
experience.
and because we're still in COVID times, you're not going to be playing lacrosse or anything.
I like we're planning on it. Like our whole fall, we practiced as if we were going to have a season.
Hmm.
We trained as if we were going to have a season, and then as of right now, we're still doing the same thing. We get back, we're getting right back into practicing and stuff. But again, one of those things no one really knows. I don't have answers. No one has answers. Just kind of hoping for the best.
You didn't, and the, do you miss having like having lacrosse being active, or
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Like I like it takes up. I don't want to say takes up your time because like you like to do it. It's a lot, but like it fills a lot of your time. Like I think it's like somewhere around 20 hours a week plus some points of the year, and that's just teamwork. Like that's not like individual. Like if I decide to go get a workout in on my own or not. So for the brief time being back at school when I didn't have lacrosse, it was just like I have so much time, and the idle mind is the devil's playground, and I couldn't like it's just I didn't understand. Like I remember like you go to class and kids are like, oh, I just didn't have time to do this, and it's like those 2 weeks when I didn't have lacrosse and I just had school, it was just like school, and then I would sit in my apartment for like 6 7 hours, have nothing else to do. But granted, some people do work jobs, which I would do while I'm at school, but can't get exported or deported. Yeah.
yeah, good. I think when the semester started, I thought you were tuning in online to class because I figured because like you had traveled from Canada and were
hmm
quarantining, but then I never actually saw you in class.
Yeah. Yeah. No, because I was supposed to be. So I obviously had to quarantine when I got here. Then they gave me some tests, waited for the results. Then I went to classes, and then like a couple, and then Julie, Bobby, and I decided it would probably be smart for Bobby and I not to go. We only had two in-person classes, and they were just once a week anyways. So there was an online option, so we tried to just do those online to not get exposed because we started practicum super late and we had to end early because of Thanksgiving. So like we
Mhm.
just could not risk missing a single day. But it
So,
all worked.
so for most, if not all of the semester, you were basically like staying in your room.
Yeah, if I wasn't at teaching or if I wasn't at lacrosse, I was just basically just doing school in my own room. Sometimes I got crazy, went out into the living room, but Wi-Fi wasn't out there.
I need to live.
Yeah,
Where's the living room at?
go for a walk to the living room.
I
Maybe
need
get
the
as far as the
fireplace
kitchen.
channel.
Yeah, I love the
I
fireplace.
Oh man, I can't even imagine. Like, I mean, I finagled my schedule in a way. I only had to be on campus on Thursdays,
Mhm.
and I guess I could just go out on in my off time if I wanted to, but um, like being you were basically not like confined to your room for most of your time, and like I mean, sure, you would have the occasional go to practicum or do lacrosse, but it was like you, but for the sake of everyone's safety and to follow protocols, like you were basically, um,
House
it was
arrest. It's called house
advised you
arrest.
stay in your room for most of the time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, so was like basically everyone on campus, anyways. Um, it's just you can't really complain about the rules because obviously they're there for a reason. It just sucks. We kind of got to just get through it. It's kind of like if you do it right the first time, you don't have to do it again. So
Yeah.
got to do it right the first time.
Did you like I don't what do you even do when you have all that time on your hands like and you have to stay inside?
If I didn't have anything productive to be doing, like if I didn't have school or if like wasn't going to get a workout in, literally just hanging out with my roommates, play video games, I don't know, call my family. Like it was boring.
I couldn't do any of those things because like well I mean I live with my family. Like I commute, so I live with my family the whole time I'm at school.
Mhm.
But also I don't particularly like talking to them, and like I'm not that big of a gamer, so like I can't play video games to really enjoy myself, at least not often. And then I don't have a lot of friends, and it and the like COVID really took made hanging out with your friends not a real thing to do. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
honestly.
Even with the ones who I had the friends I had on campus.
Yeah, you can't just
Like
go onto campus anymore.
yeah, like and then it's like not really encouraged to really gather in groups. So it's like,
Yeah,
well, I can't really hang out with anyone then.
yeah. The one rule that really I didn't like, it doesn't make. I don't know if it doesn't make sense or if it's just kind of a loophole. But like, so say there's someone that lives in the apartment next to me on campus, and we wanted to go to the grocery store. So we would both get in my car, drive to the grocery store 2 feet apart from each other, go shop at the grocery store, drive my car back onto campus, but you still can't step 1 foot into that other person's apartment.
Yeah,
But I mean, what do you want them to do? Like make like rule 1A be 4? Like there would just be a million different rules. Like you
yeah.
can't plan for everything.
How are things in Canada in terms of COVID?
Um, we just got put into like another huge lockdown. It's not really Ottawa's fault. It's more so Quebec and Toronto, because like Toronto is broken up into a whole bunch of different little cities and townships or whatever. And the problem is like one of those little cities would start to increase in numbers. So for example, the Peel region was going super high up in cases, so they shut down all of Peel. But then people that lived in that region were like, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to go to this region over and do all my normal stuff over there. So then they would bring COVID over to the next region. So basically, all of Ontario is on a 28-day lockdown right now. Northern Ontario is 14 days. Southern Ontario is 28. They're revisiting it in 2 weeks on January 10th or so. But I don't know. It is what it is. It's kind of control. The whole thing now is just, it is what it is. You can't fight anything. There's no point. So, and I don't want to get COVID anyways. That would suck. Like, people are always like people always bring up the fact that like, oh, it sucks. I can't do this, can't do that. It's like, yeah, but you know what would suck more than that? Getting COVID and having symptoms. Like, I get a lot of people don't have symptoms, or like they can't taste or smell, but like if you get it bad, like it's not fun.
No. It's well, I mean, we got the vaccine going, but
that's good. We also have
I've heard like the rate we're going dispersing it, it's not a, like, someone dropped the ball in terms of distributing it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
and they say too, when they say your city gets 10,000 doses, it's only 5,000 because they got to do it in 2 doses. So
yeah, and also like keep an extra stash in case like some go bad or they break the vial, or for redundancy.
Yeah, but at least there is a vaccine now. So if you've eaten Commons food, you don't have to worry about what's in the vaccine.
I think I ate Commons food a handful of times. I think
it's not
like the
bad.
first time, huh?
People always, like, I said that as a joke, but like I love Commons. Like it's like one of my favorite places to eat.
It was one of the only places for you to eat.
Yeah, without spending real money.
"Quote unquote" real money.
Yeah, real money. Well, it's always been real money that got turned into fake money.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think I like the first time I ate there was part of like my orientation or whatever it was. And then I think the only other time I have eaten at Commons was on the my very first day as a student at UHart, when like I made a friend and I decided to follow them to Commons, and they swept me in as a guest.
Mm-hmm.
And I had already brought a lunch with me. And then it's like, hey, you want to go come? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then,
No.
and then I'm sitting in Commons thinking, yeah, well, I'm in here, which means I can eat all of whatever I want. But also, I still have my lunchbox with me with my actual lunch. So it's like,
yeah. Save your lunch for tomorrow.
I mean, preferably I wouldn't want to do it. Oh, well, I guess. Oh, a lot of what I ate at the university were like sandwiches, and if you leave them, to get soggy or whatever.
Oh, I hate that. The lettuce.
But also, but I guess that doesn't make a difference because I got into a habit of prepping my meals for the week on like Sundays,
and
they were all sandwiches.
Oh.
So which means at the worst I had a sandwich sitting from Sunday until Thursday.
It's not bad, but still like soggy. You have to make it like a peanut butter, and you couldn't even do jelly because then it would be soggy.
They were usually peanut butter, Nutella, and banana.
The banana would go kind of yucky too by then.
It would, yes.
Yeah. Thursdays you just have 2 pieces of bread. Make it a 3-piece, so bread sandwich.
Cheese sandwich.
Yeah, that works.
Mayonnaise sandwich. Which then that would get soggy. So just cheese sandwich.
Yeah. Perfect.
I once had the thought of getting like the commuter meal plan or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Or like just the 10 or 25 block or whatever it is. But then I realized, like, I don't want to have to walk all the way to Commons,
Yeah.
especially since I'm a commuter. Like, I really have no business being on the residential side.
Well, you could just drive over after, like, or like
Yeah,
before.
not really. I
They
don't
don't.
want to lose my parking spot.
Not true.
But also, like, the things I would want to eat are like in GSU or like Conover,
Mhm.
in which case I would be spending money out of pocket anyway, so a meal plan wouldn't make sense.
No, not at all.
You know?
It does. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like the way that it goes. So I think this year we got like because it was a shortened semester. Like instead of the whatever, it was like $650, and they call it like dining dollars.
Yeah.
But like it probably costs you like $850 for a meal plan to get that much. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like you end up spending more money getting a meal plan if you don't eat at Commons. If you eat at Commons, it's worth it because like you can literally just get Commons every day, 3 meals a day, eat as much as you want. And it was so nice too, like having the COVID thing. They put everything in little takeout dishes,
Yeah.
so you could literally just go stock up on food and then like put it in your fridge in your apartment.
Oh,
And just
nice.
have food. So like sometimes on the way back from class, I would like go to Commons, I would eat whatever, and then I would just be like, okay, I'll grab like a cheeseburger, I'll grab like a thing of pasta, and then I would just have dinner. So
Oh, okay. Because I think from what I understand previously, they wouldn't really let you take a
no,
lot
they
of food
wouldn't.
with you,
They hated it.
right?
We weren't like supposed to, but now it's just like they're welcoming it, and I guess because they don't want you coming into Commons 3 times a day, right? If they
Yeah.
can limit the times you go in because of COVID, and they don't want to have to like wash all the plates and stuff, also like
Yeah.
can't have people grabbing the same plate and COVID stuff, I guess.
So you could like come in like in the morning,
Hmm.
swipe in, grab your breakfast, but also grab the rest of your meals for the day.
If they had stuff for lunch and dinner out, so let's say you went at like I don't even know, like 11 o'clock, you could still go like get cereal and whatnot, but then you'd be able to pick up like French fries and a burger. You could make a salad. You'd get a sandwich from the deli, maybe desserts, and just you could take all that to go. So whatever was open, it was just fair game.
Wow. And would there be anyone actually eating at a table in Commons?
Yep. You can only have 2 people to a table.
Oh.
Um,
And is there like
a divider too.
a divider? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just making the best of it, like doing what they could. People got to eat.
Gotta eat.
Yeah.
I think what's is Canadian Christmas different from American Christmas?
No, but I have gotten people, and I like tell them it's on like December 29th or something. So they'll text me and be like, "Hey, Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas," and I'll be like, "What? Like you told me it was like on December 29th." I'm like, "Oh yeah, no, I was just messing with you." But no, Christmas Eve is on the 24th, and Christmas morning's on the 25th. Yeah. Did you have
North
any
American Christmas.
Yeah, you have any super crazy Christmas massive gatherings that you attended, or
Well, I usually don't anyway.
yeah,
I think like maybe once in a while my parents might throw a party, but like usually it is just us, like my family and I, and we like I guess eat something and it pass out.
yeah,
Not really gifts, because my parents don't really get me gifts. Just like on envelopes containing Christmas cards.
mhm, yeah. Normally we have like a dinner at my aunt's house. It'll be like my family, my mom's sisters, so like 2 other families, and then like my cousins. Usually there's like a good like 20 some people there, but obviously we can't do that this year. So like
Mhm.
this was the first year we didn't have dinner at her house, like as long as I can remember. And like my mom and dad like got all this like beautiful Christmas dinner like all prepped up, and then we ended up driving to the other side of the city to drop off gifts to our cousins, and then we didn't end up getting home until like 9 o'clock. So we just didn't eat our Christmas dinner on Christmas. We ate it on Boxing Day,
Oh,
which I
okay.
actually liked because it was You get the excitement of Christmas on Christmas, then you get the excitement of Christmas dinner on the next day. Kind of spreads out the joy.
For Americans listening, Boxing Day is the day after Christmas, right?
Yeah. What do you guys call it?
We don't call it anything. We call it December 26th.
No way. Like you guys, that's like normally because like you guys have Black Friday. We used to not have Black Friday, but like Boxing Day is normally where you get all these big deals and sales.
Oh, okay.
So like it was a big thing for like Canadians to go.
Is that why it's called Boxing Day? Boxes of whatever you're buying or being. Stocking up in the store. Yes.
I think you could have a lot of wordplay on Boxing Day because like you got to fight for what you want because like there's big fights that break out. But at least it's not on Thanksgiving. We're supposed to be thankful. No, like boxes of stuff that you want, I guess. I don't know. I don't know why it's called Boxing Day. You know what?
Some people call December 26th Kwanzaa.
The name comes from a time when the rich used to box up gifts to give to the poor. Boxing Day was traditionally a day off for servants and the day when they received a special Christmas box from their masters.
Okay.
It's kind of nice, the first part. When the rich used to box up gifts to give to the poor. I guess the day after Christmas, out with the old, in with the new.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Well, good
so
to
it
know.
did have something to do with boxes and not like boxing as in the sport.
Yes. That would be funny.
Did you get anything cool for Christmas? Other than not COVID?
Yeah, I didn't get COVID, so that was sick.
That was sick.
Some good stuff.
It's so sick how it didn't get sick.
I got this flannel.
Cool. For those listening, Chuck is wearing a flannel shirt.
Yes, I am wearing a flannel shirt. I got the new Call of Duty video game, and I got a Bluetooth speaker, and then like some clothes. Then my brother and his fiance got me a gift card to Golf Town.
Golf Town?
Yeah, it's like a. Do you guys have in the States just like a golf store?
Oh, I was thinking it sounded like it sounded like a golf course, like a chain golf course or something. Like that.
No.
A chain of golf courses?
Yeah, it'd be funny. But no, it's just a store to buy golf equipment. And then just like some clothes and stuff. It was good. It was nice. You say you don't do like presents and stuff?
Not really. Not exact. At least not within my family. We don't really get each other presents. But I guess technically speaking, I got some stuff for myself for Christmas.
Well, your presence is present enough for others, though, isn't it?
Huh?
Your presence is a present in itself.
Sure.
For your family members.
Yeah, but I'm talking about stuff, Chuck. I want to get stuff. No, but I think like I didn't exactly get these things explicitly for Christmas. Mm-hmm. I happened to get them around Christmas.
Okay.
Like I got this. I'm gonna move my camera so Chuck can see this thing. Oh, this is great radio, guys. I got this like recording console for me to plug stuff into, plug microphones and shit into.
Seems legit. Is that a PS2? An OG PS2?
Yeah. Well, not nice. OG. That's the slim model, and it's a silver version, and not the like black.
Do you have Sly Cooper?
I do.
Crash Bandicoot?
I do. Yeah.
Oh, you have the good stuff.
I picked up a PlayStation 5.
What?
Yeah.
What? The good for you? That's sick.
I'm sorry?
You actually got a PS5?
I actually got one.
I thought you said you didn't play video games.
I don't that much.
Oh, but you just like to have, but then also for like, do you use it for like movies and stuff or?
Yeah. Half the reason I wanted to get it is so that I could have a 4K Blu-ray player, even though I don't have a 4K TV.
But just in case, hey, one at a time.
Yeah, but also, before I got the PlayStation 5, the most recent video game console I had is the PlayStation 3, right?
Or plug this. Sorry, I gotta plug the laptop in. I can hear you. Keep talking.
But and for the longest time, I've just been playing some games infrequently on my PlayStation 3 because I was like, yeah, I'm not so much of a gamer. I want to be keeping up with things, like get a PlayStation 4 when it came out or whatever.
Yeah.
So when I heard the news about the PlayStation 5 and how it's backwards compatible with like 99% of PlayStation 4 games, I'm like, oh, I'll get one of those, jump over to PS4, and not have, so I can play PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 games.
Nice.
And have a 4K Blu-ray player.
Yes. Well, I think I like having mine at school. Like, honestly, I use mine more at school for like just Netflix and like YouTube and music and stuff, because like it's just, you can turn a TV into like somewhat of a computer, I guess.
When I got my PlayStation 3, I was thinking, the thought behind the purchase was, I didn't get my own PlayStation 3 until I think it was like 2014, 15, maybe. Let's say 2015, and I was like, I mean, I don't play video games that much. I'd rather just use it for like streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, etc., and as like use it as a Blu-ray player, because most of what I do is watch movies.
Yeah.
And so like, and then I could use it to play video games every once in a while when I want to. So like, it made sense for me to get it, right?
That's good.
But and the thing is, now that I have this PlayStation 5, I'm not sure what to do with it.
You could resell it and double your money. It's crazy. Like, I saw it and I was like, oh, it's coming out. Like, I'm like, holy, like it's like expensive, but I'm like, I guess it's like top of the line, whatever. Like, wait a year, then maybe buy it. Like, once they really start to phase out the PS4. But then I'm thinking, like, I'm probably not gonna have time. Like, over the summer, I was working. Like, I played video games maybe 3 or 4 times. Like, just didn't play. So now I'm just like, and I'm not using it for like movies and stuff like that. So I don't know how I would justify buying the PS5 now. So I think this might be the end of my video game era in the next few years. Until I have kids and have to show them who's the boss. So yeah.
Oh, because this took a long time for me to get, because like I didn't pre-order because I was like, because I didn't think about how much demand there would be. Now, I don't think anyone expected how much demand there would be, right?
That was crazy.
So I didn't pre-order, and then I didn't buy one on launch day, and then I couldn't, and then I didn't really get into. I wasn't fully into like the hunt for it until like maybe a couple weeks after launch day in November.
Yeah,
and it's like I was trying to follow the people who are tracking like when retailers drop. And I had a few chances where I could have, but like I was really banking on getting one from Target because I have a gift card, and so I was waiting for when Target would drop them, right?
Yeah.
And there was one time I was so close, like I woke up just in time to see it happening. It was like 6 a.m. Eastern. And I was doing it on my phone, which I probably could have gotten it, but then I like wasted a minute going over to my desktop to see if I could do it there, right?
Yeah.
But like the transaction is just much more fluid on the app on my phone, so I didn't get it then, and it wasn't until December 28th, I think, when I'm just like, I woke up real early, like 5 a.m., hung around listening to this guy live streaming him tracking when it's going to drop. And I heard him go, oh, whoa, 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 here it is. And then like I was trying to get it at like the Target near me, or some of them near me, and
Yeah.
Even though I saw them in stock for like a while after like people were announcing the drop, it wouldn't let me check out at the ones near me.
Yeah.
And then I like ran down the list, and like the one that worked was like 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I guess I'm driving there this morning. It's
Give you something to do for the day.
yeah.
No, I
But the
bought
thing is,
myself.
like, wait, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say go ahead. I was talking about just like getting yourself a Christmas present.
Yeah,
But yeah, you had to drive 45 minutes to pick this thing up, eh?
yeah. I'm surprised I didn't get shanked on the way out. But
Where was it?
it's in the store I went to that I was able to place the order in was in Newington, Connecticut.
Okay. Pretending like I know where that is.
Yeah, me too. But also like when you spend like so much time and effort trying to do something, trying to get something, and then you finally get it, and then you're like, I guess this was worth $500.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you don't really know what to do with yourself. You're like,
Yeah.
I guess I have it now, but like that's what I'm feeling right now.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll come in and it's gonna last you for a long time. It's like yeah, they're definitely a big purchase, but like there's a reason that they're $500 and it's not just because it's they can. I'm sure they could be cheaper,
Yeah,
but they're worth
and
it.
and the thing, and like given that I'm such not a big gamer, the like most of what I play is like games, remastered versions of games that were on previous consoles.
Mhm.
So like in the end, I'm probably not, like most people will probably look at me and think why would you do that? But and now I don't want to say I'm having second thoughts about having it. I mean, like, sure, I'm gonna keep it, but it's still that feeling of like, now what do I do?
Post-purchase guilt.
Not exactly guilt either. It's just like I'm not sure what to do with it.
You enjoyed the hunt too much.
It was the real PS5 was the friends we made along the way.
Yes, that's the one. That's it. Yeah. No, I did after Christmas, my grandparents sent me a little bit of money, so I went out and I needed to get a new auger for ice fishing.
Oh,
So I went out and you have to do it online, right? Because right now we're
yeah,
in a lockdown, so you have to like curbside pick up, whatever. And so like for ice fishing, there's like manual augers that like you turn with your hand by yourself, and then there's like gas augers that are gas powered, and you can just like punch a hole in the ice. And then they came out with these electric ones, and these electric ones, like regular, they're like $1,200 before taxes, so like $900 American, I'd say, before taxes. So about $1,000, right? You're dropping a grand on something to put a hole in the ice. The hand auger I bought was $50. You can take the handle off, and then you can put this little attachment in it and attach it to like a brushless drill, and it works just as good. So that's like I see as a PlayStation, like I actually see the value in it for $500 because you can do a whole bunch of stuff with it, and you can't get a $50 PlayStation and do the same things. You couldn't get a $50 4K DVD player and do the same things.
yeah,
But like for what the auger thing is, like my $50 auger attached to a drill is doing the literal exact same job putting a hole in the ice as that $1,000 green
yeah.
one is.
Well, I mean, I guess when you're like trying to weigh whether or not you want to like make a big purchase with something, you have to think about how much you're going to use it. Like how much the amount you're going to use it would justify the purchase.
Yeah.
Like say I buy like instruments, and I mean a lot of them aren't that Some of them aren't that expensive. Like if I like this tambourine that's over here or something. But I mean, I get or like songbooks,
Mhm.
and like I mean, in the end, I guess some of them are just like I have this Beatles songbook, this Beatles chord songbook, and I remember when I made the purchase a few years ago for this songbook, um, I think I wasn't in the best place, or at least not. I wasn't I didn't have a lot of spending money at the moment,
Mhm.
so I was looking at it, wondering if I should get it, and then I thought about how much I would use it. I'm like, it's a Beatles songbook. Of course, I'm going to use it a lot to learn Beatles songs, so I'm going to buy it. You know.
Yeah. If you're gonna use it, makes sense. It's like I did that. Well, first big purchase I ever made. I was in grade 9, and I worked all summer, and then right before grade 10, I like was like literally like I need a laptop for school. You know, I could use a laptop, and then so I went and I bought like all I use it. I don't play video games on a laptop, so I bought MacBook Air, whatever. I think it's like the 14-inch screen, whatever. I'm still using it now basically. So I bought it what? So in 10, 11, 12 post grad, 1, 2, 3. It's on its 8th year of use right now, and it's still working perfectly fine for me. It does everything I need it to do. The batteries, obviously, the battery's a little bit not great, but like I can still work on it for a couple hours without having to charge it. And I don't know, I use it a lot, and it made sense for me to buy it. And I'm glad that I bought that grade 10 me spent like $1,300
Yeah.
instead of me now spending $1,300. Because what else do you need $1,300 for when you're 15 years old?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I had the same thought process when I bought the PlayStation 3. Like I'd been working at a job, and it was the 1 week when I was working overtime, and I worked like 41 and a half hours.
Mhm.
And then it was also like it was like a perfect storm of working overtime, and also I was a delivery driver, and I got like the most amount of tips I've ever gotten ever, which was like $30.
Mhm.
And be, and so I was like, I got all this money from working overtime plus the tips, and I've been eyeing like a PlayStation 3 for a long time to use as like an entertainment hub for playing, like watching movies, streaming, and all that, and also playing
Yeah.
video games every once in a while. And so I was thinking, like, that makes a lot of sense. I would use it a lot to watch movies and play games, etc. So I'm like, I will do this. I'll put all this money to this, and I still had like $100 left over from my pay that week. You know?
No, I doubt it. It's nice to like work for something and then actually get it, and then you just kind of look at it and it's like I did it. I agree.
Although now
Um,
I think, huh? What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, what do you do on New Year's Eve?
Um, what did I do? I wasn't watching any kind of program waiting for the ball to drop or whatever. I think I was playing Spider Man.
I like that game on the PS5.
Yeah, the PS. So I got Spider Man Miles Morales,
Mhm.
the Ultimate Launch Edition, which includes a copy of Spider Man from 2018 remastered for the PS5.
Nice. So it's like a
And I
two
think
for
I was
one.
for that most of that day I was playing the 2018 Spider Man.
Yeah. Cool.
What'd you do?
I went out. A couple of my buddies, we met up at the river, and it had been really cold the past couple of days before, and then it rained a little bit on the 30th, and then so on the 31st it was about -8 degrees Celsius. So I don't know what that is. Your temperature probably like 20 something maybe. I don't know, but so we got out onto the water. I brought my pop up, so we were fishing, like ice fishing, and then we were also playing hockey at the same time. We had our skates on, so we could skate around because it was normally when you're ice fishing, there's a little bit of snow, so you have some traction and you're not slipping and sliding everywhere. Because the day before we went, and same thing, it was all ice, no snow, so we were sliding all over. So when we went on New Year's Eve, we put our skates on and we just were kind of like skating around, playing hockey and ice fishing, and then just went home and watched the ball drop.
Okay.
Very,
way,
very calm.
I think I'm gonna try to make the transition into Celsius.
Yeah. Yeah, but you think everyone's gonna do it?
No, I mean like I'm trying to do it.
Oh yeah.
I want to transition into using Celsius.
Why, you just think that eventually it's where everything's gonna go, or you just think it makes more sense?
Not exactly. Well, it makes more sense in the sense that most of everyone else in the world is using Celsius. So, I mean, like when I'm using Fahrenheit, I have an idea of what to wear when I'm looking at the weather, based on what the temperature is.
Yeah.
And so I have that shorthand to understand what to wear, and I want to be able to have that shorthand in terms of Celsius.
Okay, I'll break it down for you.
Super for like
easy.
Fun or something.
Yeah. So freezing for us is 0 degrees. That is the freezing point. So, which also makes sense, right? Like, so below 0, you're going to want a coat.
Yeah.
0 to 10, you're going to want to have a sweater and then possibly like a windbreaker maybe over top of it. 10 to 20, that's like sweater / long sleeve, could even be a t-shirt if it's sunny. And then over 20, you're just straight up t-shirt.
Okay.
You just go by 10s.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Guys, it's just like the metric system.
I should make a chart. It just decides for what you're going to wear. I'm going to make an app. Don't steal this. I'm going to make an app that reads you the temperature, and then based off of like your height and weight, and like if you're like a naturally hot person or not, it just gives you a recommendation on what to wear for the day.
I would love that, Chuck.
It'll even say like, oh, you might want to bring a sweater because it's going to cool off in the evening.
Yeah, because like my body runs kind of hot, so a lot of times when you think it'd be cold, I'm out there in a t-shirt. I think we talked about this on the first podcast, but also like all I wear is basically this one thin jacket, and like if I'm wearing that for too long in my car or like walking around in a store, I'm gonna get hot and I'm gonna start to sweat. So if you can find someone who can develop this app, please include me as a collaborator.
Okay.
Who helped you come up with this idea?
I can do that. I will do that.
So I can get some money. Because God knows I'm not getting money from this podcast.
Not yet. It'll blow up. 2021. New year. New year, same podcast.
New year, same old shit.
Yeah.
So I have thermometers around my house that do have Celsius and Fahrenheit right next, like on. If the actual thermometer is going up the middle, it has labels for Fahrenheit on one side and Celsius on the other.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like staring at one the other day. I'm like, I should try to learn Celsius. I want to know the benchmarks for Celsius for what to wear. Like,
you can almost break it up into like 2. Like, if you think about 15 degrees Celsius, over 15 degrees Celsius, beautiful day. Under 15, still could be a beautiful day, but you might want to pack a jacket or a sweater. Not a jacket, like a little sweater, windbreaker.
Okay.
Variables like, wind, sun, rain.
Yeah. And
I mean, I've been living in the States for 4 years now. I still don't understand Fahrenheit. I know 32 is freezing.
Yeah.
I know like 80 is friggin' hot, but it's in between that.
Okay, well, since you gave me the benchmarks for Celsius, the way I think about Fahrenheit is, in my case, in my particular case, So if you're a fat guy who runs kind of hot, um, below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, I wear a jacket.
Mm-hmm.
And or like I'm definitely wearing a jacket if it's under 40.
Yeah.
40 to 50 degrees, 40 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit. It's like I'm okay out in a t-shirt sort of, but I might bring a jacket with me just in case.
Mm-hmm.
Above 60, I'm basically from 60 to like 70. It's like it's like a brisk kind of. It's cold enough. You would say it's cold, but it's not gonna ruin you're not gonna be shivering.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna feel if a particularly strong breeze goes by past you, you might shiver a little bit, but it's not terrible. It's like a typical fall day, you know what I mean, where it
Yeah.
feels real cool, brisk.
Mm-hmm.
70 to 80, that's when it's getting hotter, in which case I'm definitely just wearing a t-shirt. And then past 90, it's like for whiny sedentary Americans, it's almost unbearable, or at least for people who live in like New England.
Yeah, no, I agree. I can't take too hot is not fun.
You'd rather be too cold than too hot?
You can always wear more clothes, but it's frowned upon to wear way, way less clothes. Like I could put on, like when I was going to work a couple weeks ago, we had a snap of cold weather and it was like minus 24 Celsius one of the days, which is like, I don't even know. Like, hey Siri, what's minus 24 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit?
Minus 24 degrees Celsius is minus 11.2 degrees Fahrenheit.
So minus 11 degrees Fahrenheit. It's freezing.
Yeah, that's cold.
Like my mustache was like getting icicles on it from my breath. Like, so I literally had like, I woke up, showered, and I put on like leggings, underwear, a pair of long johns, sweatpants, another pair of sweatpants. Then I put on like a Under Armour Heat Gear shirt, a long sleeve, a looser long sleeve, a t-shirt over that, then another long sleeve and a sweater. And then I put my overalls on, like my coveralls, and then a coat, and then like gloves, hats, and mitts. So like you can have a bunch of layers, but you can't have like negative layers, or you're just going to be naked. It's really weird.
Negative layers means like taking off your skin.
Yeah. Can't do that. Then the heat won't be the problem.
Yeah, I don't know. There's I mean, I'm conflicted about whether I would rather be too hot or too cold, which I would prefer, because like I guess like there's something about being too cold, like having to put on way more layers than I would like to. Like it may be necessary, but it's more than I would like to. Like, I guess it again, it stems from me running kind of hot. Like I've always thought about, like here in Connecticut when winter hits, like, oh yeah, it's cold. I'm gonna wear a bunch of layers, but then I get too hot, and then I'm like, okay, like I guess it's taking a long time to calibrate how much I should be wearing for me, instead of what I think I should be wearing. So I'm down to just the one like thin jacket, which is perfectly fine. And sometimes I even get too hot wearing that one thing. And then like also my parents still might yell at me for like only wearing one little jacket.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know. And I mean, like, I guess I also don't enjoy being too hot either. I mean, who does? But
I think they both have positives and negatives because, like, on a really hot day, like, as long as you're by a body of water, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Oh. Or, like, if it's too cold, just layers. But, I don't know. Personal thing, I guess, for people.
What would... So, okay, so run by me again the benchmarks for Celsius.
Okay. So, 0 to 10, you're going to want, like, a sweater, maybe a icebreaker.
Okay.
10 to 20, that's like long sleeve / t-shirt. Like I'd say 10 to 15. Yeah, long sleeve / t-shirt, and then above 20 is just t-shirt. I run a little bit hot too, so like if I'm wearing a long sleeve and it's over 20 degrees, it's gonna be a bad day of laundry.
Okay, cool.
And then obviously like below 0 is like so like 0 to -10. That's like a good hefty, like a 0 to -5 is like your coat would be fine. But like once you get to like -10 and lower, you're gonna want like a sweater under a coat or like a big coat.
All right, cool. I will. I don't know when I'm gonna. I want there to be a day where I officially like switch to Celsius on the weather app on my phone, but I don't know when that will be.
I think the weather would honestly be like an easy thing to switch to first, because first of all, you ask me how tall I am in meters, I don't know. Actually, 170.
Wait,
179, and it says on my driver's license.
In centimeters, you mean?
Yes. Yeah, I'm 179 centimeters, but no one measures themselves in meters or centimeters in Canada. Everyone, you ask someone how tall they are, they'll say, "Oh, I'm a 5 foot, whatever."
Really?
Yeah, it's just, well, think about it. Like a meter stick, like, oh, I'm 1.79 meter sticks tall. Like it doesn't sound right. And also kilograms. Everyone weighs themselves in pounds.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, I think they do the same things. I think a lot of countries do the same thing. Like they'll say they're this foot, that.
I know in like England they use the term stone.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I think it's 14 pounds stone.
14 pounds? Oh, geez.
Yeah. So when they refer to someone being, I don't know,
140 pounds.
10 stone, it's 140 pounds.
Good math. Oh, Canada hit the post. 2-0, by the way, for those people at home. 2-0 in the second period.
So Canada is basically discount America. If you're even using the, is it just height and weight where you're using it regularly? Imperial units?
Yeah. But like if you're gonna ask me like how far something is, like you're gonna say how far is that tree from me? I'm gonna say, oh, that's 20 meters. Like, so height is in feet, but like distance is still in meters and kilometers.
Oh, okay.
And then weight, though, I think weight is still just pounds.
For anything?
Like rarely do I hear someone say like kilogram unless it's like a 1 kilogram bag of flour, like measurement or something, but.
Interesting.
Also, what was the one thing? Light.
What?
So you know how you can say that someone is light as in they don't weigh very much, or like it's light in this room? Do you guys have 2 different spellings for that, or no?
No, it's just light.
Yeah, see, we have 2 spellings for it. So a light, like on the ceiling, that's LIGHT, but something that's like weighs not a lot, light is just LITE.
Really?
Yeah, and then obviously there's like honor and color where we have like OU and favorite with the OU.
Oh, okay. Because here in the States, it's just LIGHT.
Mm-hmm.
But I think LITE is more like a marketing term for like products. Like the most I've seen is like if you get the free version of an app, it might be called the name of the app Lite or something like that. Or like you refer to like I've heard when you see an actor who resembles a more famous actor, you might call them discount this name actor, or you might call them the name of the actor Light, like an inferior version of whatever this thing is. You would call it this thing Light, LITE.
Okay, I get that. I'm just doing some research right now.
Okay.
So, what would you say the two most popular beers in the States are, in the US?
Bud Light, Coors Light.
Okay, yeah. One more? What's like Miller,
Uh,
right? Miller?
Miller Light. Miller
Miller,
Light is the one that has LIT.
yeah. But the other two are LIGHT.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wait, does that mean is Miller Lite not an American company?
See, you'd think it would be because it's the sponsor for the MLB. Miller Lite. It's an American light pilsner beer sold by Molson Coors. Yep, out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Okay.
I don't know.
Competes mainly with Bud Light, which is also a US based company.
I wonder why that is.
And then Coors Light is also in the US. Well, I mean, they merged with Miller to be Miller Coors, which is now defunct, but it's now known as Molson Coors.
Nice. Molson.
You see, I wouldn't know any of this unless I looked it up right now because I don't care for light beers or beers in general.
Well, I feel like you see it like it's just like you think about it. I was just thinking like light, and then first like I was like I knew that I've seen like light on a can, LITE before.
Yeah.
I was trying to think, and then originally I looked up like Bud Light, and then I looked up Bud Light with the TE to see if like it was a difference like Canadian versus American can, because they have to come from separate places because like American Bud Light is less percent, like American beer is lower alcohol percentage, but yeah, that wasn't the case.
Yeah, here in the States, LITE is not. I don't think it's like a real quote unquote word.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were in your Canadian vernacular, if you were to try to use LITE in the sense that like something that does not weigh much in a paper, that you might get marked for that.
Yeah, probably would. I remember one time I got marked my freshman year. I got marked for like spelling favorite in color with a U,
Oh yeah.
and I just pulled the like, well, isn't that a little nationalist or whatever the word is? 2017. Come on, but no. Usually, I
Come on, I'm Canadian.
yeah. Usually, I don't think that it's that. It's just at the end of the day, it's more so British English, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because that's where the rules stem from. But
I mean, Canada is a Commonwealth nation under Britain. No.
not for 150 some years now, but we still have like a queen. But that's just really
She's on your money.
yeah. But it's just formality at this point.
I guess. Yeah.
I think that you can still like somehow get a free picture of the queen though.
How do you mean?
Like if you ask, like you know how like in England, if you like email, you can get a free picture of the queen, like a little picture to hang up in your house.
Huh.
I think that's a thing. That might not be a thing, and I might just have sounded really dumb.
I've heard of the thing where it's like British citizens who surpass the age of 100 are eligible to get a written letter from the Queen. Have you heard of that?
No. Okay, sorry. Here's the thing. So in Canada, not anymore, but the Canadian federal government is discontinuing its initiative to distribute print posters featuring an image of Queen Elizabeth to Canadians. The project started in 2002 and allowed any Canadian to fill out an online form or to mail or fax a request for the portrait, which was shipped anywhere in Canada free of charge. So from 2002 until 2019, you could get a free picture of the Queen in Canada from the government if you ask.
We're just a couple years out. We just missed it, Chuck. Or you just missed it.
Kind of bummed.
Would you have done it?
Oh yeah, if I knew about it. I don't know why I didn't.
It's like, What are you gonna do with a picture of the Queen? I don't know. It's free.
Yeah, it's free. Why not?
Or
Hang it up on my fireplace. I don't know. Probably resell it.
sell it to someone who doesn't know that you can get it for free.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you like a picture of the Queen?
Sure.
Yeah. Wait, framed picture, right?
Yeah. Or no, I don't think it came with a frame, but it said like a poster portrait.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's no way they'd send it with a frame too. That'll be expensive.
Yeah.
But then again, no.
How much to someone who doesn't know that you could have gotten it for free? How much do you think a portrait of the Queen would have, like they would have paid for? They would have.
Okay, if I sell it just as like a poster, $20. But if I go to Walmart and buy like a $10 frame, like 80, 75 maybe, and we're talking like it was probably like a 1.5 by a foot picture or so.
What if there was an option for the Queen to like sign it?
Yeah, I would do that and I would keep it. That would not be a for sale item. Imagine that like the Queen's just in her little fancy bedroom just signing pictures of herself all day like a rock star. That'd be funny. Yeah.
Only the first 1,000 prints will be signed.
First 1,000 to order get a free signature from the Queen Elizabeth. The second. First one couldn't make it.
Do you have anything cool that's signed by someone?
I have a picture of Sidney Crosby framed that he signed his rookie year. I have a picture of Eric Carlson during his draft. It was in Ottawa. I was at it. He got drafted and he signed it. I have a couple like John Tavares signatures somewhere. These are all just like famous hockey players. Other than that, no, not really.
I think I'm not too big on like getting things that are signed or getting things signed by like whoever is relevant. But I think the one thing I can clearly remember that I do have that's a signed thing is, are you aware of Christopher Nolan, the film director?
Mm-hmm.
And are you familiar with the movies Memento and Following?
Following, I think so, but not Memento.
All right. Well, somewhere I have a paperback copy of the screenplays for both Following and Memento, and it is signed. I bought a copy that is signed by Christopher Nolan.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
Which, I mean, I usually wouldn't be doing that, but like it wasn't that much more expensive than like a regular like new copy that wasn't signed. So I was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Just I might as well get it, right?
Oh, I don't know. He's in a lot of movies that I've seen. Oh, yeah. I was going to say, isn't he the Batman guy? But I didn't want to sound dumb again. Movies is your thing, so. But yes. And he did Dunkirk.
Yeah.
And Inception.
Yeah. And just recently, Tenet.
Yes. Did he also do...
Interstellar?
No, I know I saw that one on there, but it's...
The Prestige?
No. It's just like Inception, kind of. Well, not just at all anything like it, but it's like a mind... Shutter Island.
That was Martin Scorsese.
Oh, okay. I like that movie a lot. I watched that.
Also starred Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. A younger Leo, too. But I remember I finished it at like 2 a.m, and I was just like, what the hell just happened?
Well, I think Shutter Island and Inception were both in the same year, if not just around the same time.
It was good.
Yeah. Have you seen Tenet, his most recent movie?
No. Should I?
I was really hoping to see it in theaters, but of course, yeah. So I waited for it to come out like on Blu-ray, on home media, and I procured a copy, and I watched it a few times now, It's Are you aware? Are you familiar at all with like the concept behind the movie?
No.
It's There's not a lot to follow in terms of character.
No.
It's not. Yeah, it's like it's actually that's kind of like the same problem I had with Dunkirk. You couldn't really connect with the characters.
No, not at all.
But like the idea behind it is like honestly ingenious because it's about people finding ways to have things go backwards in time. So like if you have I'm doing a visual aid for Chuck so he can understand what it is. So if you have the plot of the movie going this way,
Mm-hmm.
you know, quote unquote forward,
Yeah.
there's a thing people have come up with a way to invert objects or people. It's called inversion. The process is called inversion. So you can have a person going forward in time, they enter a machine, and then they invert themselves so that now they're moving backwards in time.
Oh, so they're just kind of bouncing back and forth?
Kind of. But the thing is, so if you're a person who's moving forward in time and you see someone who is inverted, they look like they're moving backwards because they're inverted, right?
Oh, but to them,
but from the perspective of an inverted person, they're quote unquote moving forward, but all their actions look backward because they are moving against the flow of time, right?
I want to watch that. That sounds crazy.
Yeah, it's a real trip. So
I'll have to look that up.
it stars John David Washington, who's Denzel Washington's son.
It's Tenet, right?
Tenet.
Okay.
And like the title is a palindrome.
Yeah.
Moving forward, backward, time, whatever.
Well done. I like that.
So what else you got going on?
Go back to work on Monday. Fishing tomorrow. Other than that, not much. Just I don't know. Work, go back to school, get this bachelor's degree, come home. 2 more years of school, then work.
Oh, right. Be good. So you are planning to get a master's?
Well, I'm at teachers college, yeah.
Yep. Oh, that's a thing?
Mm-hmm.
I've never in Canada, there are schools specifically for teachers to get.
No, it's not. Well, not like an entire college or university, but like a school within the school.
Okay.
Like it's
So like basically, it's a place to get your master's of education or something like that.
Yeah. Well,
okay, that makes sense.
At the same time, yeah.
All right. All right. I think we're good. Do you think we're good, Chuck? Justin, Justin, Chuckston. I think this went well, right?
Yeah,
how do you feel?
I think it was good. We got a good time in.
How do you feel about being a returning guest to the podcast?
I could do that.
Huh?
I could do that.
I mean, you're a return guest at the moment. How do you feel about it?
Kind of knew what to expect coming in, so it was good. I don't think we talked about anything the same, so that's also good. We didn't repetitive. It's nice. It's cool to be the first truly international guest.
I think have I? Oh wait, I think I just recently I did one with a guy who is Canadian.
Really?
Yeah. Who is a professor at the university, Abe Hefter. in school communication.
At our school?
Yeah.
Let me look this up. Abe Hefter, Hartford. See where he's from.
I think he's from Montreal.
Yeah, he went to Concordia, and he went to
Yeah.
McGill. Yeah, definitely he would be from Montreal. McGill's a really cool university. And Concordia's on the East Coast, I believe, in Nova Scotia, I think.
Is it?
Yeah. He's been to 4 Olympics.
Concordia is in Montreal.
Concordia? Oh, they might have 2 campuses.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
But, right on. Cool. I had no idea that guy was a teacher at our school.
So, I mean, you're still the first Canadian who's been on the podcast based on your first appearance.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So you're one.
Oh.
I think you're one of 2 Canadians now.
That's good. I'll take it.
Well, you are the first person to be in a different country while we do this.
That's good. That makes me feel good.
I see you're yawning, Chuck. You tired?
I am tired. Even though I didn't even really have that busy of a day, but it's good to be tired because that means you can wake up early.
I thought you were going to say it's good to be tired because you'll go to sleep very quickly.
Yeah, but also, well, yeah, you'll wake up early because you'll go to sleep quickly.
All right. Anything else you'd like to say to me or the listeners?
Hey, Mom, Dad, if you listen to this.
Wait, do they listen to this?
I don't know. They said they might.
Did you show them the first one?
No, I told them tonight, though. But, yeah.
Make sure to listen to the... What if they listen to it out of sequence? They listen to the second one and then the first one.
So be it.
I mean, you don't necessarily have to listen to one before the other, but...
No.
Wait,
Okay.
what are your parents' names?
Troy and Linda.
What was that?
Troy and Linda.
Okay. I thought I heard Tori. Hello, Troy and Linda. Tkachuk. This is your son's second appearance on the podcast with Benson Ty. Or this has been his second appearance on the podcast with Benson Ty. The first time was fun. This was also fun. I like talking to Chuck. I mean, Justin. Wait, do they call you Chuck?
No. Everyone in Ottawa calls me Justin except for, like, maybe one of 2 of my friends occasionally call me Chuck that I went to school with in Toronto. And then there's like 3 or 4 people that call me JT. But
and to your parents, you are Justin.
Yes. Or dipshit.
All right, bye, Chuck.
Okay, bye.